Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Jane Live. This is episode 13. Unlucky for some, but not for you, because we've got a great store. We've got a great show in store. It's easy for me to say. Tonight, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through your hot scores for the week. We've got a special guest, Mikey Yu, on the line. He'll be talking us through his recent victory at the Peter Croufer Memorial this past weekend. We've also want to talk a little bit about some upcoming events. And I've got a bit of a question for the audience, so we'll see what you come up with there. And it's also ratings day was Tuesday just gone, so I'll be recapping all of the top rated players in New Zealand. So without further ado, let's crack into it, starting as we always do in the very deep south at Invercargill, and it's Johnny Ferrari setting the course alight with a 15 under par at Queen's Park. Going across to Chingford in Dunedin, and it's Cameron Mackey with 6 under who takes out the honours this week. It's our special guest star Mikey Yu, who put in the hot round at Queenstown Gardens this week with 16 under. We'll hear a little bit more about that and his other exploits shortly. Across at Tucker Beach, it's Div with +4, and across to Ely Point, Billy Goldsmith hits 3 under, not once but twice. So well done to Billy. Over to Lismore, and it's Ryan Cambridge with 12 under par who does the business there. And across to Christchurch, Isaac Sasanuma Howard knocks down 15 under par in a fantastic round. Elsewhere in Christchurch, you've got Willie Taratana, Jasper van der Meer, and Kyle, who all hit 7 under par this past week. And at Brooker Ave, Ben Wheellake hits 8 under par. Well done to Ben. Up to the capital, and you've got Brady Cush leading the way at Berrenpore Hills with a 6 under par. And at Hikoikoi at the foreshore, it's Jacques Duval with a 5 under par round from him. Up to Harcourt, and Brady Cush is at it again, along with Mitch Hudson with 2 under. Special mention to Scott Woodhouse and Carson Boone, who both hit 1 under par in the last week. And it's across to Linklater, a bit of a special one, this one. Jackson Sullivan, it's a 9-hole course. He hits 10 under par, including an ace on hole 2. Incredible stuff. Across to Inglewood, Trevor Warman hits 4 under par up in Taranaki, and across to McLaren in Tauranga, it's Flavio Mayorga with a +2 over par leading the way this week. Steve Jessup shot an even par round at Rosedale, as did Jake at the Woodhill Red Tees this week up in Auckland to round out the top scores there. So some really good golf being played up and down the country. The daylight savings and the colder days don't seem to have stopped anybody. In fact, we've seen some scores just keep tumbling, and I intend on doing a bit of a recap of the hottest scores of this year at all of the courses that we preview coming up soon. So listen out for that, especially if you've got a hot score. But my guest now is the Peter Croufer Champion for 2021. It was a fantastic tournament, and to tell us a little bit more about it, here is Mikey Yu. Good evening, Mikey.
Hi, guys. Hi, Matt. How you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good. This last weekend, down in Christchurch, we're playing Peter Croufer Memorial. How was it?
Oh, it was a good time for everybody. The weather was a little challenging on the first day of competition.
Absolutely.
And a little damp in the morning, but it came good for the second day. It was but it was good times for everybody.
I can attest to the weather. Certainly, you'd be forgiven for thinking that there was poor weather if you just look at the top of the leaderboard, because it didn't seem to affect you guys as much as it did everybody else. How did you have to adapt your game to allow for the what were they 40k wins, gusting to 60, 70?
Yeah, it was definitely challenging. I guess luckily enough, I've played a bunch of sort of windy rounds down in the gardens with the wind coming off the lake. To sort of understand what I needed to do with the disc to get it to shape and land softly and generally as close to the basket as possible. And in Queen's Park that was very, very helpful because they're a sort of similar course. And then out in the open at Brooker Ave is like as similar to playing Tucker Beach, just you're playing over some hedges where you can't see the basket sometimes, and that was probably more challenging for most people, where the wind would just take your disc and send it far, far away from sometimes where you want it to be.
So what kind of decisions were you making? And forgive me, for the benefit of people who maybe don't get to play in the wind so much or are perhaps new to the game, how did you change your disc selection based on the conditions, especially considering you throw predominantly forehand or flick or sidearm, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, for me, it does vary a little bit. So I'm lucky enough that if it's under 100 meters or just over kind of thing, I will play both, either forehand or backhand. If it's going to be more than that and I need to gain the extra distance, then I'll generally throw the forehand or the flick, just because I do get a lot more out of it. And especially if the wind is coming for me from right to left, throwing the forehand means that it can get over and carry and push more, and then finish into the wind and be a lot safer and not be skipping far away.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
backhand can be more dangerous in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, Brooker is an interesting course, and a lot of people listening will have played there, and it's got lots of holes going in lots of different directions, as you'd probably expect from any disc golf course. So you had to think, right? You had to, every hole, you had to kind of go, where's the wind going? What am I doing? What disc am I going to use?
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes, especially when there's crazy headwind, you're often thinking, am I going to play my normal shot? And when you're unsure like that, the more overstable disc is the safer choice. And I put a couple of discs specifically in my bag just for that. If the wind was too crazy, that I could then go, right, I know this disc is never going to flip over and go the wrong way. It's only going to hold and finish. And if I come up a touch short, at least I'll be inbounds and I'll be safe.
Yeah, right.
And those were the decisions that were more key than probably anything else.
Yeah, something that I witnessed at Brooker Ave, and it happened occasionally, was that if I saw a disc turn over when throwing into the headwind, then that was a lot worse than just perhaps a shorter shot that would otherwise have at least stayed on the fairway or stayed along the playing line, if you like.
Yeah, and that can often be the case. And luckily, it didn't happen to me too much. I had a couple of shots get carried, further to the left side in the first couple of holes than I wanted in the second part of the second day, but I managed to get away with it and work towards the win in the very tight battle. Which, if you were watching any of the scores, you would have seen it sort of jump between a few players, and then myself and Ben just battling quite hard for the top spot going towards that Super 6.
Yeah, it was incredibly tight, and I was fortunate enough to be playing Queen's Park on the second 9 of the Sunday round, which meant I could leg it over to Brooker Ave and catch what you guys were doing, and it was also great to see the Super 6 as well. That was fantastic. We got some really interesting hole choices and some really interesting, as a result, shot choices come out from all players. Do you like to see those Super 6s? What's your view?
I think that they can often be advantageous if you're behind a couple of shots. You have the opportunity to catch up and jump a few places. And so if you're in that position, you're like, yes, I've got a chance. There's 6 holes. I'm 4 shots down. If I make them all, maybe I'll get those shots back. And if the leader doesn't continue to hold or something like that. Whereas as the person who's leading, you're like, oh, I'm in front. I wish it was done, and I'd be happier in the clear. And in that case, I mean, I was lucky. I was only 1 shot ahead, and even then, that was fortunate that I even got that 1 shot ahead, because one of Ben's putts hit the chains, was in the basket and blew out, and he got so unfortunate. It was really unlucky. and that's where I gained the extra shot going into it. And there's possibly some footage coming out from Flexline Media for the Super 6 and a few other holes. So everyone will get to watch it, which is pretty cool.
Oh, good stuff. I did see Chris doing some filming on that day, actually. So, yeah, hopefully that comes out as some content. I know he's busy doing the Nationals coverage, and I think the front nine of Nationals coverage was released earlier on this evening for the second round. So yeah, after this show, pop over there and catch that. We've had a couple of questions come through for you. So first one is from Leon. What's your disc choice for sidearm?
Ooh, if I was going for the approach in shorter distances, then you will go with there it is, good old Piggy.
Piggy.
Yep. And I have a straighter one, which everyone sees in a more mustard kind of color, which I guess is the one that a lot of people have seen the most. And that's those two are definitely the discs of choice for the approach on the sidearms. And then for more distance, especially if there's tailwind or not much wind, then I'd go with the Shrike from Innova as well. And they just glide for days and get way up there.
Superb. We've had another question from Hemi. What does your diet consist of to get that mighty flick going?
Oh, that's a great question. Probably eat more vegetables than I do meats now, but I'm definitely not against it. I think it's not as much diet, but probably more practice and making sure that you get out there and put in the repetition.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people will have seen you on coverage, and you're kind of known for your flick or your sidearm. Your username is Flickmaster Mike on UDisc. How do you practice that? Is it literally just repetitions out in a field, or do you have like exercises that or kind of games that you try to beat yourself at in order to practice that?
I guess in the beginning it worked. As unfortunate as it was, I was having a lot of knee surgery before I started playing disc golf, and I was looking for something to get me outside and walk around in the gardens and just enjoy the sunshine. And I'd started working at Small Planet, and then they've got a big wall of discs there, so I thought, I should maybe go and try this, but couldn't really rotate on my right knee for like the backhand throw. And I was originally playing righty backhand and lefty backhand, and then realized, wait, I saw somebody else throw a sidearm shot, and I thought, maybe I should try that because I can skim stones good. And yeah, took it from there and just was amazed at how well it worked out because I could really put my weight forward and rotate on my left leg, and it made all the difference. And then I just practiced that a lot.
Yeah, and it's just throws in a field. Is it just a repetition over and over and over again? Nothing more exciting than that. Just get out there and throw.
Yeah, in the beginning, I was playing anything from 3 to 6 rounds a day in the garden. So it's a lot of rounds. So yeah, that's where where it all comes in.
Excellent. Morgan's got a question that I was going to also ask. What tournaments will you be attending for the rest of this season?
Ooh, there's a lot of tournaments. So I guess coming up obviously is the Garden. So we'll be there. We'll be representing and doing well for the home course, battling it out with all the crew, and then the Wanaka competition, Lords and Ladies of Lismore, is after that. And then, is it Taupo that's first, or is it Tekawiti? It might be Tekawiti.
Tekawiti is the 2nd of May, I think, and Taupo is the 15th, I think.
There you go. So both of those. And I'm trying to think what is after that one. Definitely Tucker's, because I have to defend that one, which will be important. And Moonbase, Twizel, Ohow, which will be always super fun. Love getting out there for that course. And then Nationals, I think, would probably be the last one.
Up in Bellaraka.
Yes.
Or North Island Champs, I think it's this year.
And splitting between 2 courses, they'll be doing that supposedly, which will be pretty cool over 3 days. So really looking forward to that one.
Good stuff. Well, final question from Johnny is who's your favourite pro you'd like to see in New Zealand?
Ooh, probably Ricky Wysocki. Now, I like watching Rick play and putt, and he's progressed from being, you know, a really good sidearm thrower and to an amazing backhand player as well. And now he's proving that he can do it all. And I'd like to, you know, be able to do that. Plus, he hits putts from way far.
When you said that, the thing about Ricky that I find when I'm watching is that it's like Circle 2 is Circle 1. You know, it's and Circle 1's just a tap in. It's crazy some of the putts he's hitting from distance, and really helpful, right? If you've got a strong Circle 2 in regulation percentage and then you're putting silly after that, then yeah, you're going to be doing well.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day. Maybe one day that'll be good. You've had a few more questions in the comments, but we'll move on, and I'll leave you to answer those comments. I'll answer those questions shortly. But otherwise, congratulations on your win, Mikey, and very best of luck for the rest of the season. I think it's Queenstown Classic, you said, in a fortnight's time, or just over a week's time actually, which will be the next tournament for you. So very best of luck there. And I'm sure we'll have you again on the show to talk more disc golf. Thank you so much.
I look forward to it. And thanks, Small Planet and Nova Champion Discs.
Good stuff. Lovely. Thank you very much, Mikey.
Cheers.
See you later. Lovely stuff. Mikey Yu there, Peter Crawford Memorial Champion 2021. Okay, moving on. It was ratings day on Tuesday. And so we're going to go through the top 10 men and top 10 ladies in New Zealand. Ratings day is always an exciting day, unless you're me and you dropped 7 points. So yes, that was particularly disappointing. But someone who gained 7 points is Jackson Sullivan, who leads New Zealand currently with a rating of 989. He's up 3 places to take out the top position in New Zealand currently. Simon Feasey drops 1 to second place. 984 is a 6-point drop. Ben Wheellake gains 1 ratings point to take him to 984 in third. In fourth place is the first of the Stout brothers. You've got Ethan Stout taking a 10-point increase to 981. He's up 1 place to fourth from fifth. And his younger brother is in fifth place. He's moved up 7 places and took a 20-point increase to his rating to 980. Not bad for a 15-year-old. In sixth place, you've got Mario Cernia, who jumps 21 points to 979. You then have Andy Davey, Wellingtonian on 975. That's unchanged. Colin McKinstry on an unchanged 971. Liam Patterson, who took out the advanced division at the Peter Crawford Memorial with a 969 rating, joining the tour. That's his first rating for Liam, and on an unchanged David Keane on 968 rounds up the rest of the top 10. Over to the ladies division, and it's heating up. We've got tied in first place is Leanna Crustina and Hayley Flintoff, tied on 893 for the lead and for the top female in New Zealand, which is fantastic. Leanna jumping 6 ratings points, Hayley dropping 5. You've got Charlotte Dunkley in third place with 859 rating. That's unchanged. Melody Ripley in fourth, unchanged on 836. Liz Mocker in fifth place with 829. She took out the ladies advanced division she took out the ladies advanced division at Peter Crawford. So congratulations to Team Sweet Chain's Liz Mocker. Michelle Simpson comes in next on 828. Paula Wilson up 3 ratings points to 826. In 8th place is Stephanie Stridham with an 809 rating. In 9th place is Linga Fiola, who is 808 rated. And with a new rating and a new to the top 10 is Eilish Kumak with an 803 rating, rounding out the top 10. And I've just had a correction come through. 14. Well, there we go. Even better. I looked up some other pros what their ratings were when they were 14, and a lot of them aren't far away from that. So that's incredible from Lever. Incredible. Okay, going through some events that are happening. If you're in the capital on Saturday, please come along to Heiser at Harcourt Park. We've got it's a casual event where we play doubles in the morning and singles in the afternoon, mixed doubles in the morning, I should say. This Saturday, it's looking like it's going to be a lovely Saturday afternoon. Double starts at 9:30, singles at 1. On the 24th of this month is the Queenstown Classic, which is sold out, and the King Country Classic, which might be sold out, I don't know. We'll have to see. On the 2nd of May is the west side of Woodville. So this is Ryan Kitto and 4999 Disc Golf, who's putting that event on at his course in Woodville. There may still be spaces. I know it was limited spots, and a bunch of the Upper Hutt guys are going up. So best of luck to them, and check in with Ryan Kitto if there's still spaces available there. On the 8th of May is the Women's Global event, both in Auckland and Wellington. Now listen to this. There are currently, across the two events, 50 ladies signed up to play sanctioned disc golf in those two events in New Zealand on the 8th of May. Absolutely superb and lovely to see. Really looking forward. There's still space at both tournaments. So if you want to get involved or you need to give your sister a nudge, then please do, because it's going to be an absolutely fantastic day. With the players packs got shipped the other week, so we're really excited for that down here in Wellington. And we'll have both Paula and Charlotte on the show, the TDs for the respective tournaments, a little bit closer to the day. On the same day is Brook Park Brave. So if you're in neither of those events, then head up to Ted Quiddy for that one. Lords of Lismore is coming up, but it's sold out. So if you didn't get a spot, join the wait list. You may get lucky. And Topor is the other event that's happening in May. That is also sold out. Sold out within 24 hours. One event that isn't sold out, and it's largely because registration hasn't opened yet, is the Wahitapu. Registration opens for this on the 27th of April at 6 p.m. Now, if there's any events that are going to sell out quick this year, it's going to be that one, and surely that's going to set some kind of record. The event is on the 27th of November, but 6 o'clock on the April the 27th. We'll have more info on that next week, and we may even ask Morgan to come on the show and tell us a little bit more about it 6 months in advance. So yeah, that's good. Or go to discgolfscene.com and search Wahitapu if you're interested in that one. So the question I've got for you, and it's a question that I was discussing with some of the Team Sweet Chain guys, is tournaments are selling out so quick now. They're selling out in some cases in hours. And although we've kind of watched this happen a little bit in the States, it's slightly different here in that we've got a kind of a group of people who tour around and go to the vast majority of tournaments. So what are we going to do? What's New Zealand going to do to step up to the demand to make sure that the top players in the country can compete on a regular basis and not be not find themselves not able to get spots at tournaments? And how are we going to also ensure that all the players who want to go from being casual players who chuck around with their mates and actually think, oh, you know what, I'll give this a go, can get to a sanctioned event and can start playing some competitive disc golf? How are we going to deal with that? That's a question for you. If you want to contribute with an answer and you think you've got some thoughts on this, then give me a shout, because I'd really love to run a little piece on that with a few of you, discussing some of the ideas that I'm sure that you have. Finally on the show, if you've read the New Zealand Disc Golf Constitution, and I hope you have, then you'll note that the AGM for the New Zealand Disc Golf must be held before the 31st of May. And they must also give 30 days notice of it being held. So we are looking forward to that happening sometime in the next 6 weeks. And we're going to be reaching out to all of the existing board members, and also to the board, and to any new candidates, to invite you onto the show and get your thoughts on why you want to do the position that you're applying for or you're seeking re-election for. So really looking forward to that. That should be some very interesting conversations. So look out for that one. That's going to happen pretty soon. So yeah, that's it from me today. If you've got any further comments about how we're going to fix the tournament shortage, perhaps, or indeed you are seeking to become a member of the New Zealand Disc Golf Board when the opportunity arises, then please get in contact. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, have a lovely weekend, guys. I'll see Wellingtonians at Heiser this weekend. Otherwise, I'll see you around. Have a great weekend. Cheers. Take it easy.